the greatest performer, all-around performer, check all the boxes that I ever worked with was Shawn. No doubt. No doubt. And I told him that. And I worked with Rock, and I worked with Austin, and I worked with all of them. When you're talking all-around performer, I think Shawn Michaels was the best.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Kid Featherstone. I'm here with Vince Russo, riding with Russo, riding with Russo, riding with Russo, riding with Russo. Vince Russo, how are you, man?
What's going on, Dr. Chris?
Hey, man.
What's on the docket for tonight?
Man, let's talk about what's on the docket for this evening. We're going to go with Tony Schiavone. He made a very bold statement recently. He said, I feel very fortunate to have been there for Bryan Danielson's probably his last match because he's got to get healthy. To me, I'm wrong. Am I wrong to say he's the best of all time? Is a man like me who's watched Ric Flair, who's seen Shawn Michaels, wrong to say that Bryan Danielson's the best of all time? And he said, yes, he's the number one of all time for him. Is that a bold statement made by someone who with so much cachet in his pro wrestling portfolio, Vince Russo? What do you think, man?
No, I don't. I mean, nobody respects Tony more than I do. And God, bro, how many people have really seen more wrestling than Tony Schiavone, man? So I don't think that's a bold statement at all. If that's the way, Tony feels, that's the way Tony feels. Bro, I'll be honest with you, Chris, I am not lying to you. I don't think I've even seen 5 Bryan Danielson matches. I don't think I've even seen 5. I really, really don't. So I can't really sit here and say because I haven't seen him enough. But man, if that's the way Tony feels, I certainly respect Tony's opinion.
You saw the Daniel Bryan matches, though, right?
No, I've seen 5. I've seen him wrestle 5 times in my life. Maybe. I don't even think that many. I didn't watch wrestling during that time, bro. I told you.
No, well, he was in the WWE doing that throughout all of our review time for most of it, right?
What are you talking? What do you mean?
The times that we've been reviewing Raw.
No, he was. No, bro, not at all. He was there for maybe a cup of coffee. He did not work a lot, bro. Absolutely not.
He left like WrestleMania about 3 years ago. So I think you saw probably about 2 years worth at least with me.
Bro, I did not see him wrestle that many times. I'm telling you, bro. Really? I'm telling you, Chris. I have not. I cannot, bro. I swear to God, if you ask me to remember now, I remember actually seeing him one time when he was in some kind of an angle with Kane. And I was very I was very impressed with him. I was very impressed with him. Bro, if you ask me to remember anything else, I can't.
Now I'm intrigued to know when he left. I think he left because you remember the setup leading up to the triple threat match with him, Reigns, and Edge. So we were reviewing when Edge came back, right? The WWE?
I don't know, bro. Every time, I hate to say this, every time we talk about this, unfortunately, I got to look up when Joe Laurenitis passed because that's the only time I know the date. Yeah. That's the only way I know the date, bro.
2020 is when he passed. Later 2020, I believe, like probably November.
Yeah.
So we've been at it since the beginning of 21, I believe. So it's been like probably 4.5 years, close to it. He was there when we were reviewing. I know that's for sure. I probably think you don't remember his matches while we were reviewing it, which goes along with.
Well, it does kind of. But bro, that's really not fair to say because Chris, there aren't many matches I remember nowadays. I mean, so that I really don't. I was going to ask you. I could tell you this, bro. He probably was not involved in a major angle. I don't think he was wrestling every week.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was gone for a while because of his neck. And then he came back with and he teamed with Shane. And he went against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This was New Orleans, WrestleMania 34. So that was before our review.
Yeah, it definitely was. Definitely was.
Yeah. Okay. That was 7 years ago. So, yeah, interesting. When did you start watching, like, were you watching, like, Raw and SmackDown, like, before you start reviewing it?
Bro, I've probably not, I wouldn't say Raw and SmackDown. I've probably been watching Raw for the last decade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think he might have been on SmackDown. Yeah, because I don't know if you remember the situation between him and the Miz, but he was injured though. Yeah, he was gone for a while because he had to retire. Because of his neck. So it was concussion. So so that falls in line with my next question to you. In your opinion, subjective opinion, what is the criteria for the greatest wrestler of all time, in your opinion?
Well, see, here's where I think, from what I saw of Bryan Danielson, this is, to me, the box he would not be able to check, and that's cutting a promo.
Okay.
Okay. Now I've said this, bro. I've said that, and as a matter of fact, bro, I said it directly to him, with my voice cracking and very, very emotional, because it was very, very important to me that I let him know that. Okay. And bro, the greatest performer, all-around performer, check all the boxes that I ever worked with, was Shawn. No doubt. No doubt. And I told him that. And I worked with Rock, and I worked with Austin, and I worked with all of them. When you're talking all-around performer, I think Shawn Michaels was the best.
Okay. So what are the boxes that a wrestler would need to check in order to be eligible for the greatest wrestler?
Well, obviously, in-ring work,
okay,
promo skills, believability, charisma, the it factor, and again, when I say charisma, can I really check the Bryan Danielson box when it comes to that? Shawn oozed freaking charisma, man. Mm. I mean, that's big to me, man. Just no one else being like you. I mean, when you think about Bryan Danielson, you think about him being a great wrestler. There's a lot of great wrestlers.
Yeah.
Shawn was much, much, much more than that.
Mm. Yeah. Bryan Danielson, I think he's a phenomenal wrestler. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the greatest wrestler of all time, I mean, how in the world could you not put Ricky Steamboat up there, man? I mean,
because that's what my box is: charisma, promo.
No, not you. I'm just talking about as far as just regular.
Well, yeah, absolutely. No, I hear you on that. Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting. I'm interested to know what the people, the Sportskeeda Nation, what, in your opinion, what is the criteria for the greatest wrestler of all time? Because yes, Shawn Michaels, his in-ring work is accentuated by his charisma, by his promo, by his just overall aesthetic. I mean, like, you came out with someone with broken heart tights, with stripes and like a zebra print, what I mean? So I think that alone creates an allure that came with, his character. I do think that if you're kind of doing in-ring work alone, what's the criteria? Like, is it determined by planches? Is it determined by how many headbutts you do? Is it determined by your submission skills? Like, I don't know. I guess it is subjective for everybody. So it would be interesting. I wonder if there was a general, if there is a generic list for the greatest wrestler of all time to you, the fans. What would you think, and what would your criteria be? So be sure to comment below on that.